Uh, Once again, hello everyone, and welcome to the class. Hope you're doing good and taking good care of yourself and your families, and also uh, being at home and following the instructions shared by the government. Okay. Now, in the last class, we were discussing about the types of entrepreneurs. Uh, Types of entrepreneurs. We discussed the first one. First category we discussed, that is drone entrepreneurs, then your technical entrepreneurs, professional entrepreneurs, right? So those categories we have discussed, 5-6 types we have discussed. I have shared you the PPT as well. That's the last slide what you people might have received. Okay. Also you might have gone through the PPT. So that's where we stopped. The first category. Now let's discuss the second. Very simple to understand. The second category is based on the sex or gender of the person who is an entrepreneur. So either he is a male or female. So male, like I can give you examples of Ratan Tata. I can give you example of Kishore Biyani. I can give you example of many more. Male. Female. Recent, I mean, in the past 2 decades, we have seen women coming out of their restrictions, those limitations. They are overcoming overcoming the limitations, and they are starting their own enterprises. Now, one thing we need to understand here is entrepreneurship need not have to be always big. It can be a small organization or it can be a large organization. Any business activity which is carried out, or any person who is carrying out a business activity, is termed as an entrepreneur, is referred as an entrepreneur. So let's not have that boxed, bordered definition saying that entrepreneurship always has to be like Infosys or has to be like Wipro or like Pepsi. No, it can be a small organization, small enterprise as well. So women, they have come out of and they have overcome their limitations, and even they have started their businesses. For example, there is one company, you may go on Google and search for Nykaa, N-Y-K, Nykaa, Nykaa.com. This company is started by a woman entrepreneur and making profits. Very young lady. And Sudha Murthy, if I take the first generation entrepreneurs, Sudha Murthy, who is running Infosys Foundation. There are other entrepreneurs, like you can go to Zivame.com, which is run by a woman entrepreneur. There are many more entrepreneurs, women entrepreneurs, who are coming out and starting their own enterprises, their own organizations in the Indian market. So based on gender, we can divide them as male and female. Next one is based on area. If the company or enterprise what they have started is located in an urban area, then it is urban entrepreneur. That person is referred as an urban entrepreneur. If it is started in a rural area, then rural entrepreneur. Okay. So you may have a local entrepreneur who has started like let's say chalk piece manufacturing, or let's say ready-made garment stitching enterprise, or let's say agarbatti manufacturing or candle manufacturing, or say homemade foods, processed foods like pickles or your papads, and all those small enterprises can also be referred as in the rural entrepreneurship category. So those people who start their companies in a rural area, they are referred as rural entrepreneurs. Urban entrepreneurs, you can see n number of companies across Bangalore. You have stayed already here and you have come across so many companies here. So urban entrepreneurs. Next one is based on size. That is based on size. Here is like it is divided into 2 categories: large scale and small scale categories of entrepreneurs. Now, how to define large scale and small scale? Now there is government division which is managing this, and they come, which is referred to as MSME, like micro, small, and medium enterprises. And previously it was small and medium enterprises. So this division always comes up with a definition of defining which is a small organization and which is a large organization. So this department always comes up. Like previously, it was said that on the basis of capital invested in the company, they are categorized into small or large scale. So previously it was 1 lakh if it is invested as a capital in the company, it is a small scale organization. And if it is more than 1 lakh, then it is a large scale organization. There is one more definition which was given previously, like if the number of employees is less than 25, it is a small scale organization. If it is more than 25 employees, it is a large scale. There was one more definition which was given by some experts saying that based on the technology which is used, if it is more technology oriented company, then it is a large organization, because if technology has to be used, then there has to be an investment. So if it is more technology oriented, that is a large scale organization. If it is more like men oriented or like labor oriented organization, then it is referred as small scale, where only employees are doing the work, all fitting or any assembly work or any work which is involved in that particular company, which is done by human resource or employees with no technology, completely labor oriented, then such companies are referred as small scale enterprises. So those people who are starting small scale companies, definitions are different. Okay. So now MSME, micro, small, medium scale enterprises, that is a government division which has given definitions about which is referred as a micro company, which is called as a small company, and which is called as a medium enterprise. So this government division keep on defining, revising the definition of these three types of companies. So entrepreneurs who are starting small scale enterprises, they are called as small entrepreneurs. Those who have started large scale organization, they are referred as large scale entrepreneurs. Now next one is generation based on generations. So based on generations, it can be classified as old generation and new generation. Old generation is like those people who started before 20, 25 years or 40 years back, right? And new generation is who has started recently, like let's say this decade, they have started. Previously, the old companies are not that technology oriented, but now technology has advanced so much. So now you see the technologically advanced organizations. So new entrepreneurs, a recent generation, and old entrepreneurs whose age is more than 45 years, 50 years age, they have started their organizations. So that is one of the classification, new entrepreneur and old entrepreneur. And there is one more classification based on this, like first generation entrepreneurs and second generation entrepreneurs. Like in my family or in your family, if your dad or your grandfather has started a business, okay, for the first time, then they are referred as first generation entrepreneur. There is no history before your grandfather. There was no one involved in running the businesses. So they are the first generation who started business in your family. Okay. So that's why they are referred as first generation entrepreneurs who started for the first. Second generation is like your father is doing a business and you join it. So you are now the second generation who is joining the business. So already there is someone from your family is running a business and you have joined that as an entrepreneur and you started running that business. So that is why it is called as second generation entrepreneur. There is one more term here which we need to consider is entrepreneurs. Okay, entrepreneurs or entrepreneurs. Likewise, there is entrepreneurs. Who are the entrepreneurs? like those employees of the company who are staying within the company and doing all the activities which an entrepreneur is doing. What is like entrepreneur is doing? He is innovating, he is starting a new product, he is starting a new service, he is taking the risk of running the business, he is also making profit for the individual or the company. So likewise, employee of the company staying within the company, he is acting as an entrepreneur. How? Here the capital required is provided by the company. The money, machine, materials, methods, everything is supplied by the company. Now this individual employee taking all these resources from the company and he's starting a new project staying within the company. Then he's running it, he's taking the risk of running the business, and also if there are profits, then that profit is enjoyed by the company. He may get a share of it. So remaining or staying within the company, he is acting as an entrepreneur. So that is why such employees who are within the company and acting as or taking the risk of running new projects using the resources of companies, such people are referred as intrapreneurs. Okay. So these are the different types of entrepreneurs classifications which we people can study. So there might be many more, but generalized in a general sense, these are the classifications. So, but first category, what we discussed is very, very important. And what you people can do is you can go to the internet, you can refer 2-3 blogs, you can refer 2-3 websites and collect the material. If you have a book, then well and good. If you don't have, nothing to worry. There are a number of resources which are available on the internet. You can go refer and prepare your notes. Now, next, what we are going to discuss is what are the benefits of becoming an entrepreneur and what are the risks. That is what we are going to discuss in the next topic. Now, entrepreneurship, as we said, is taking the risk of running the business. And why we are taking the risk? Because we want to make some profit and enjoy some profit. That is the major motive. So let's see what are the benefits of entrepreneurship. So I'll just list down some 5-6 benefits which are there for the for becoming an entrepreneur. So first benefit is freedom. Freedom. Second benefit is your flexibility. Third benefit is control. Fourth benefit is profits. Then fifth benefit is learning. And sixth one is your satisfaction. And the last one is exciting and fulfilling. These are some of the benefits of entrepreneurship which we can list down. You can add if you feel like, if you go through some material and if you get some more point, you can add to this list. Now, first benefit here is, what is the benefit if I become or you become an entrepreneur and you start your own business? What is the benefit that you are going to get? Now, the first one is freedom. What is the freedom here? You be your own boss. Your own boss. You have the freedom to run the business as you want. You have the freedom of whenever you want to feel like going to office, you go to office. If you feel like not going to office, You'll not go to office. So you are the boss here. You have the freedom. You run the business as you want. Right? So that is the freedom. There is no one to restrict you, or there is no one to control you, or there is no one to order you. So you are your own boss. You have that freedom of running business as you want. That is one. Second one is your flexibility. You're running the business. You feel like, okay, this route is not going to work, or this method of advertising is not going to work, or this market is not going to give me profits. You change the plan. Okay. So flexibility. You don't have to wait for someone to come and tell you, or someone you don't have to wait your boss to come and then you go and you convince him, take his permission to change your strategy. No, you're your own boss, and you have the flexibility to change your business plans, strategies, activities as and when you want to fix into the market conditions. So that flexibility you always have. Next one is your control. Now you have entire control over your business. You have control over your product, your sales, your advertising strategies, your marketing strategies. You have control over your employees. You have control on all the aspects of the business. And when you have that control, you feel happy. Okay, you feel empowered. So that is one of the advantage or benefit of becoming an entrepreneur. So you can run as per your will and wish. So that control you have. Next is profits. Here, like companies have started to make profits. So if you make profits out of running the business, then you will enjoy the benefits or fruits of running the business. Right? You don't have to share the profits with anyone. So that is one of the major benefit what entrepreneurs expect out of their businesses, to make profit, to make money. Okay, and they don't want to share with anyone. Likewise, if you start your own company, if you make your own profit, you will enjoy the profits. Next is learning. So if you become an entrepreneur, you learn so many things. You get to learn so many things. Yes, in classroom setup, in the society, you get to learn, you get to see so many things and get to learn. But when you get into the shoes of an entrepreneur, then you will understand what is the technology required, how is the market, what is the research you have to do, what type of product requirements are available, what type of customers are available, what is the profile of customers, how to reach the customers, what are the different technologies available to reach the customers, what are the different sources of marketing research are available, what are the different sources of distribution are available. So there is so many to learn. Once you start your enterprise, then you will slowly go on learning these requirements. So that is one of the most satisfying factor for some people, because they get to learn. They get to learn when they start their own enterprise. Next is your satisfaction. So like there are technology people, they know coding and all, developing their own websites, or there are some people who know how to make videos, how to post it on YouTube. There are some people who are like very good writers. There are some people who are very good at procurement and distribution. Right? But if they become an employee of a company, there are restrictions, so they cannot act, and they start feeling depressed. Now, if they want to use their potential, their abilities, their skills, they can quit, they become entrepreneurs, they use those skills, those abilities, those potentials to start their own enterprise. And success or failure, but they will have that sense, that satisfaction of doing something on their own. So it is always like satisfying to start your own business, trying something of your own. So that is one of the. Next is your exciting and fulfilling. Running a business is always exciting. Okay, because every day you face challenges. Every day you have to take risk. Every day some new uh, activities have to be implemented, new strategies have to be developed, new technologies have to be used. Right? So here always it is exciting, and it is exciting to fulfill the needs of your customers. When your customer, you supply some products or you supply some services to your customers, they consume those products and services and they are happy, they talk to you, they give you feedback, then that is always, I mean, exciting and also fulfilling. So you feel happy, you feel enriched, you feel happy when your skills are used, your potentials are used. And after using those potentials, you are delivering something through your enterprise or through your company to the customers, then yes, you feel happy, you feel enriched, you feel satisfied. So these are some of the benefits because of which people start their own enterprises. So for some people, only making profit may be a benefit which they are looking at. That may be the only consideration. For some, they want to enjoy the freedom. For some people, it is the flexibility. And for some people, it is the you may find few people which look at all these benefits and start the enterprises. There are very few people because it is the trigger, a stimuli which will trigger this sense of starting their own business. So they can look at one benefit, two benefits, or combination of these benefits. So rarely we find people or entrepreneurs who have started their business looking into all these. Remember this, all the management concepts are developed looking at the people who are running the business. Enterprises is not a new concept, it is there from ages. Some people started observing, started studying, they conducted research, then what they did, they organized this knowledge in a particular format, and we are studying it. So this is not a new knowledge, it was existing, but now we are presenting it in an organized format. So businesses are existing from ages. So as I said, some may look at few benefits and others may look at all the benefits and start their own enterprises. But yes, with the benefits, with the advantages, there are disadvantages. Okay. Now there are disadvantages like disadvantages of running the businesses. So let's have a look at the risks of or disadvantages of running the business. Some of you feel looking into the news or reading newspapers about entrepreneurs making 600 crore, 1000 crore, right? This much investment came to a particular company. One company invested in another company. Infosys bought some other company, right? And they have made a hell lot of money. And some of you may get excited to start your own business. Right? So when there are benefits, advantages, definitely you will also have the disadvantage. So let's have a look at the risks. Risks of entrepreneurship. So some of the risks which are involved are responsibility. Responsibility. You can mention risk or also disadvantages. Okay. So responsibility, then risk, then workload, then another one is limitations. Next disadvantages, perform too many tasks. Another disadvantage is Uneven profits. And the last disadvantage is stress. These are the disadvantages. Like for example, some 5 years back, in Bangalore, 3 to 4 friends, MBA friends, they were sitting in a hotel in the evening having snacks and coffee. And suddenly, for one person, there is one thought which came about the transportation, and they started a company. Like you have Ola and you have Uber, and there was one more company 5 years back, Taxi for Sure, started by a Bangalore students, MBA students who passed out, and they started their own company. It was started in Panchanfi or JP Nagar area, and they ran it successfully for 5 years, and they made 1,200 crore rupees. That company was bought by Ola for 1,200 crore rupees. They make a lot of money. 5 years, they ran it successfully. Okay. Now, after reading this story, many of the young generation may get excited and think of becoming an entrepreneur, right? So, as we have seen the advantages or benefits, but there are also risks of starting your own companies, like Taxi for Sure or any other small or medium enterprise. So, what is the first one? It is responsibility. Responsibility of running the entire business is on your shoulder. Also, it's not just the business. Responsibility of all the employees and their families is on your shoulder. Developing a product which is going to be a successful product in the market. Developing a marketing strategy, supply strategy, or employee strategy which is going to be a successful one for the organization. Everything is on your shoulder. So this is from company point of view. From family point of view, you don't have regular income, you don't have regular salary, okay? But you have the responsibility of running your family, taking care of your family. So responsibility is huge. To make the enterprise successful, your business profitable, and also you maintain your family. So work-life balance is very, very difficult when you are an entrepreneur. There might be times when you may not get time for your family, or there might be a time where you may not get time, you may not be able to make yourself available to the company when it is very much required. You may be busy with your family tasks. Right? So it is very, very difficult to manage this responsibility of both the sides. Next is risk. We saw 1,200 crores, 600 crore. Like Flipkart owners, they made 600 crore. One person made 600 crore rupees. They started in 2007-8 and they made 600 crore rupees each. Very exciting. They succeeded, so they made the profits. And we have the habit of always reading the successful stories. We never read the stories of failed entrepreneurs. There is so much to learn from them, but we never read. We always read about Narayan Murthy started Infosys from a 10 by 10 room in Pune, or J.R.D. Tata, Ratan Tata, Wipro, Azim Premji. So we study about the successful entrepreneurs. We never look at the failed entrepreneurs. Now you might have read about the Siddharth, the coffee day owner incident. He made his business was successful, huge expansion, but where he reached, at a point where he has to commit, he committed suicide. So imagine the risk of running the business. If you have the profits, well and good. If you don't have the profits, imagine if there are losses. You're financially, you are completely wiped out. You're drained out. You don't have money to spend for your family and for your enterprise. So that is the risk. which you are going to take. Profits, no problem. But if there is failure, there you might have taken loan from your friends, you might have taken loan from banks, you might have taken from private lenders, right? Some microfinance. So if there is risk, then imagine how much financial burden you may have to bear. Next is your workload. Huge workload. Right? Now, if you work for a company, 9 o'clock you go, you punch, 6 o'clock you come out, you punch and go home. Right? 9 to 5 job, 9 to 6 job, maximum. Or 10 to 7 job. Right? Some of the companies, okay, you may have to extend you, but you have the benefit of working from home. But here in this case, there is no time limit. You may sometimes may have to spend more than 20 hours with your company because it is your child. You have to take care of it and you have to be available all the time. So there is no in time, there is no out time. You have to be available for 24/7. So that is why there is a huge workload for entrepreneurs. Next is there are limitations. To start an enterprise, there can be a problem with you may not have sufficient funds, you may not get the raw materials, you may not get the skilled employees, you may not get permission from the government to start the company. You may have the competitors who are very financially very sound, so you may not be able to compete in the market. So there are so many limitations. You want to start a company, there is no infrastructure. Like there is power say load shedding in your native place or in your taluka for 6 hours. Then how will you run a company? You want to start in your taluka place, some company, but you don't have any engineer who can build a website. So you may not get the employees or required resources in that case. Like 5 resources I said, men, material, machine, methods. Right? So these 5 M's you may not get in the area. There might be restrictions or limitations on that part. Okay. So there are limitations which you have to overcome if you want to start your own enterprise. So that is one of the disadvantages. Next is perform too many tasks. If you start your company, you have to become a advertising expert, you have to become a marketing expert, you have to become a sales expert, you have to become a distribution expert, you have to become a human resource expert, you have to manage your cost, you have to manage your finances, you have to manage your other expenses. Right? So you need to have skills. You may not have money to employ all these expert people. You may not have money to pay them. So here in the initial time, when you start your enterprise, you have to do everything. You have to perform many tasks. Sometimes you have to become a lawyer. Sometimes you have to go to, on your own, you have to go and take the Xerox and fill the forms. Go to the MCA, the Ministry of Corporate Affairs, and submit your applications. PAN card, you have to go to apply for PAN card. Right? You have to go to MCA to submit your application or digital signatures. To prepare, get the digital signature, you have to go. Right? So you have to perform all the tasks of running the enterprise in the initial. That is one of the disadvantage of risk which you have to bear. Next is uneven profits. There might be times, like present time, the entire economy is closed. Only those companies which are running online businesses, they are making profits. Only those companies which are into grocery sales, they are making profit. Others, everything is closed. For example, Kirias, it is closed. Chroma, closed. Reliance Retail, closed. Reliance Electronics, closed. So, profits are not guaranteed. You cannot say that this month, you can say that this month I will make 100 crore profit. You can say that in the initial stage, but at the end of the month, it's not guaranteed that you will be making the 100 crores. So profits are not always stable. Sometimes it may be high, sometimes it may be low, and sometimes that is cost to cost, and sometimes you may have to bear the losses. Like in present situation when the entire country is locked down, enterprises or business entities have to bear the expenses. Like Gopalan Mall is shut down. Now those shops which are located in Gopalan Mall, they have to pay their monthly rents. They have to pay to their employees. So they have to bear the losses. So profits, it is not guaranteed. They are always uneven and sometimes there might be losses. Next is stress. So dear friends, running enterprises is not an easy task. It's not an easy task. That is why we discussed about the qualities of an entrepreneur. He should be a risk taker, right? He should have all those skills and abilities which we discussed in the first book. So here, stress. So again, I would like to mention the example of Siddharth from Coffee Day, CEO of Coffee Day. Imagine what kind of stress he was having after having such a huge entity. He committed a suicide. So people who start their businesses, they have to always bear a risk. There is always a risk which they have to encounter. And they have to plan to encounter that risk. Now here, there is a stress of managing employees. There is stress of recruiting employees. There is stress of arranging the technology. There is also stress related to managing the funds which are required for the company. There is stress of competing with the enterprises which are already there in the market. So stress from everywhere. And again, there might be instances where your family members are fighting with you because you are not able to give time to your family. Some people who are not married, okay, who are not married. Your father or your mother is always scolding you. Why you started your own company? Go and join some company and become an employee. You'll get regular income. Okay. Some of you, your father may be saying that like none of in our family, no one did a business. So why you want to start a business? So there is stress from family side. There is stress from organization side because you want to run it successfully and make the profit at the end of the year. So these are the, so you have to manage the stress. You have to manage the stress, bear the risk and also manage the stress. So those people who want to become an entrepreneur, first thing is they need to have those qualities. And second thing is don't look only at the advantages. Don't look only at the advantages. Look at the disadvantages or risks which are involved in running the enterprises. And third advice, what I would like to give you people is like, don't only read successful stories. Okay, successful stories are good just to understand how they are making profits. Okay, also read about the companies who failed, enterprises who failed, or enterprises which failed. So read about them. Two books I would like to suggest here for you people. One is Connect the Dots. This is one book. And second book is Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish. Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish. These are the two books, Connect the Dots and Stay Hungry, Stay Foolish. Read these two books and you will get to read about some 40-50 companies which are started by entrepreneurs from scratch, from zero, okay, with minimum investment. And they have run it successfully and they have made a successful enterprises and profitable organizations. They have built profitable organizations. Read these two books if you get It is very, very awesome. It may not cost you more than 150 rupees or 200. Okay. So with this, we will end today's class. I will upload this class video on Google Classroom. I have already given access to you people. Those people who have not got the access, please share your email IDs with your class CR. Internally will share with me, and I will provide the Google Classroom link. I will upload this video on YouTube. Next thing, if you have any questions, please drop me a WhatsApp or a text message or email me, because here on the video we will not be able to take the questions. So please drop in WhatsApp you can ask, or on a personal window you can ask, email or over text message or WhatsApp. Third thing is, last one is, please share information with your friends who do not have access to internet or limited access to internet about these things. Okay. So thank you very much for joining. See you in the next class. Have a great day. Take care. Be safe. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.